Hey Void, how you doing? I've been kind of slacking off on my reviews. Usually I try to review things the day I see them, or at least the day after. I've been letting them go for a few days. So, I've got a few to catch up on, and away we go. So, first off is another of my Shudder Trek for Dead and Buried. I had never heard of this film. So, I had no idea what to expect going in. And it was interesting, but I don't know. It just felt like there's many long stretches before when things happened. When things were happening, it was interesting, and there was a twist, like two of them, that actually worked pretty well, and I actually did enjoy the twist for it. But even if it did leave the movie feeling a bit unresolved, but a lot of horror movies are like that, so I'm not going to hold that against it. Dead and Buried came out in 1981, and for me, the oddest thing for it was seeing Jack Albertson. Not many people may recognize the name right off the top, but if you've seen the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, he was Grandpa Joe. So it was weird to see Grandpa Joe in as a offbeat morgue worker who may be a bit sinister. He was giving it his all, and he was probably the best thing in the movie. So, this, what to say about Dead and Buried? It's more, I put it more in a mystery, although the scenes of violence definitely are more horror, and the fact that we are apparently dealing with the undead. Okay, so, Dead and Buried essentially starts off with a tourist just coming to town, taking some photos. The lady approaches him, gets her photo taken a few times, and then right before they get intimate, someone comes from behind, attacks him. She attacks him, and they just eventually tie him to a post and light him on fire. Okay, the movie had my attention right off the bat, and pretty much a lot of people passing through would be suddenly beset upon by seemingly random violence. Like for the photographer, they seemed to actually try to cover their tracks, make it look like an accident. But the next one, they didn't even bother. It was just like a drunk drifter that they just attacked and just left there. But each time there's someone taking pictures as well, and yeah. But pretty soon, some of the people who seem to be killed by them are now seen walking around again and partaking in this violence. So, it does have some interesting parts. We mostly follow the sheriff's investigation trying to figure out what the heck is going on. But it is kind of a slow procedural. Procedural may not be quite right, but it's an early version thereof. So, a lot of things it does fine. But because of the pacing, it just feels slow. When the action is there, it is good, but it just seems too few and far between. And everything else just is not supporting the weight of it. The gore effects are good when they're there, but otherwise, I don't know. This feels like it would have made a good episode of like an existing horror show, like an X Files or a Supernatural. It feels like one of those, but stretched over a movie. It just feels like a plotline that would show up in there, or maybe like an anthology episode that's just running too long. If it was more concise, the amount of violence could work, but or and we wouldn't have those long periods between. But for me, I was almost putting this one out of 3 just because of how dull it was. But the twists did work very well for me. I did not see them coming, and even though part of it I probably should have. So for me, which will jump it up to a 4 MacGuffins. Dead and Buried just wasn't scratching my itch just right. But it wasn't terrible. Alright, that's really all I got on this one. I'll catch you guys later.